Hey everyone, so as you can see from the title, I am showing you my full day of eating today, which I've kind of delayed from doing because my life and what I eat is so varied. Every day is so different, which has kind of prevented me from making this video. But I think it's actually a good idea for me to make this video. And because I live such a flexible, varied diet, I can just do this now and then do it again in a month's time. And okay, today I am going for a little run. Fasted, which means I haven't eaten anything. I have supplemented with BCAAs, but I'll leave my supplementation regime for a different video, and I'll just do food today. So I'm gonna, and it's quite normal that I do a bit of cardio or a walk or a run before breakfast. So I'm gonna go for this run now, and then we'll catch up then. So good run, about 7 or 8 kilometers probably. And what I normally do if I'm not running at home alone, I'm running with a client, is take a little snack with me. And what I had was this just little protein bar, 20 grams of protein and 10 grams of carbohydrate, so really just about 200 calories, something absolutely tiny. However, because I was fasted, I was absolutely starving, so I have that before I get home and have a real proper meal, which is coming up next. So I think my most common breakfast at the moment is an egg-based breakfast, like omelettes with avocado and things like that. However, recently I've been in a lot of rushing around, and what I've been enjoying doing are making smoothies. You whiz them up, get as much ingredients in there as you can, and then off you go. And that's what I'm gonna make today because I'm in a rush. So here we go. So what you're looking for when you're making any meal, but especially your breakfast, is having all 3 macronutrients: proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. And the same thing when you're doing a smoothie as well, is you're looking for those 3 macronutrients. And if you can get micronutrients in vitamins and minerals, then that's an added bonus as well, especially in your breakfast. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with almond milk. Throw that in. Sometimes if I'm making a bigger one, I might do that with water as well, but today just almond milk. And first of all, protein powder. I've got obviously Reflex Nutrition. There you go, Instant Whey Pro, but just gonna do a couple of scoops of that. There you go, so you got the protein, especially after running like I have just done. But even if you haven't done exercise, great to get protein in if you're making a smoothie like this. Okay, so carbohydrates from oats. Obviously a complex carbohydrate, digesting slowly. There you go, I'm going for 4 spoons of that. And then when it comes to fats, today I'm going for peanut butter. Add 1 spoon. So in there I've got my protein, fats and carbohydrates, but like I said, it's important to look at micronutrients as well, and I love frozen berries. So, gonna just get a handful of frozen blueberries. There you go, grab a handful of those and throw them in there as well. So that's gonna help with the micronutrient content. There you go, and then it's just quick to... There you go, that is the quickest breakfast you can make. And it tastes so good as well. So, that is breakfast plus the protein bar that I had half an hour before it. But you may have noticed that I didn't weigh anything, and I want to kind of keep this topic to a separate video. I'm going to make another video, but I'm currently not tracking, not counting any calories or macros at the moment. However, to get to the point that I am now, I have had to go through quite a long period of time of tracking, of counting my calories, weighing food and tracking it on MyFitnessPal, so I can eyeball and have a good intuition of what I'm using, because I've done it hundreds of times before with weighing. I just used a spoon there and a handful of things, so I know what I'm doing. I know that by the time I finish today's calories and finish today's food, I know that it's going to be 2003, 2004 or 500, and I will make the adjustments I need with my food to kind of match how active I'm being or how I feel or how hungry I am, because I'm using intuitive eating. However, I'm going to talk about this on a whole other video some other time, so I'm just going to show you what I'm eating. I might even put it all into MyFitnessPal at the end to show you exactly how many calories it was. However, that's breakfast done. Apple, just having a little snack, doing some work. and probably gonna have lunch in like an hour or something, but just quite busy right now. And a lot of people get a bit piped up with the whole kind of sugar in fruit and stuff, but if you're really overweight and you have to be quite considerate of sugar, then yes, you do have to think about how much sugar's in your diet and the best times to have them and things like that. But if you're healthy and you're living a healthy lifestyle and you've got moderate goals of losing body fat and you're looking to just get healthier and fitter, then it's just an apple. It is given from Mother Nature herself, so don't fear fruit so much. I have 1 or 2 portions a day. If you're a bodybuilder prepping for a show or something, then yeah, you have to be really kind of conscious of sugar and be quite tactical with its application, but otherwise, just chill out. Have it as a snack, it's no big deal. If you have it post-workout, then great. If you don't, then don't worry so much. Enjoy it. So, it's lunchtime, but I'm just snacking on a couple of rice cakes whilst I prepare lunch. You'll probably find that I just continuously snack, and there's nothing wrong with that, really. If it's the right stuff, you can just keep on eating. Everybody does it differently. Some people ask, how many meals should I have per day? And the answer, there really isn't an answer, and there's not a right or a wrong answer, because what's really most important is how many calories you're having over the day or over the week. If you're looking for a calorie deficit to lose weight or a calorie surplus to gain weight, that's more important. You could do that in 2 meals or 10 meals. It doesn't matter. That's why I snack so much, because I'm always hungry, but I'm always feeding, and there's nothing wrong with that. Right, lunch. Often my lunch is the same as the following meal, whether that's dinner or just a second lunch, because I usually cook in bulk, cook quite large, like a double portion, so then I just eat it again in a couple of hours time. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. It's what I do most of the time, unless I'm like out in London or traveling around, then I can't. However, so I've got just 350 grams of chicken. I'm gonna fry it in the pan, and I usually just throw in some veg with that, with like kale, pepper, and then I'll just boil some veg alongside it as well, or maybe bake it or something. Asparagus and broccoli and sweet potato for the carbs. So I'm probably gonna boil these, probably peel them, boil them, rather than bake them. I've read a few things, you probably have as well, about some of the nutrition in sweet potatoes being lost when you bake them at high temperatures, but if you prefer to cook them in chips rather than boil, then I'd say just do it. You can't lose all the nutrients, but I quite like boiling them and then either mashing them or just keeping them like that. So let's get started. Just using some coconut oil for the pan. You don't need much. I use a variety of spices in my cooking. Today I'm just using paprika on the chicken, not just for flavour but also incredible health, fat burning benefits, and it also tastes awesome. So I've got the sweet potatoes boiling in there. Keep them going until they're soft. I'm going to throw in some more veg into the chicken now, just some green pepper, and finish off this bag of kale that I just had left over in the fridge. Just to add it in some more greens, I've got the broccoli and the asparagus going as well. And I guarantee one of the things that you're not doing enough of is how much vegetables you're doing. I talk to people every day and they're just not having enough vegetables. If anything, this might be a bit too much greens. I need a bit more colour, but generally you need to have more greens. You need to fill your plates with vegetables, and the fuller you are, the more satisfied you are, your cravings will decrease, let alone the amount of goodness in these foods that have to fill your diet with. So don't forget your greens, don't forget your vegetables. Don't you find it weird that the same water, that hot, what is it? The same boiling water that softens the potato hardens the egg. It's not about our circumstances, it's about what you're made of. Damn true. And on that note, the potatoes are almost done. In the past, I have just thrown them in the oven to finish off cooking, or I've kind of given them a couple more minutes and then kind of mashed them, but I'm just gonna leave them the way they are. I'm really easily pleased. My cooking is so basic. It's not that I'm not a good cook, I'm quite experimental and creative sometimes, but to get through the day, I just cook really basic foods, really functional foods. I think about the protein, I think about the vegetables, I think about the carbohydrates, add a bit of seasoning and spices, and kind of that's it. Right? It's how it's done, and it makes it so much easier for my mind, easy to bulk cook, and too many people get kind of focused on making it so amazing and creative, but you don't need to with your day-to-day food. There you go, one for now, one for later, and some leftover sweet potatoes as well. That was 3 sweet potatoes, and I'm gonna probably eat them all because remember I have been for a run today and I've got a big session coming up later on as well, so I'm not afraid of the carbohydrates at all today because I know that I'm going to be doing quite a lot of exercise and I'll need it. So there you go, and it's a very low fat meal. You've got your carbohydrates from the sweet potatoes and your vegetables, and protein from the chicken and some in the vegetables, and then the fats, the only fats you have really is in the tiny amount of oil that I cooked with. So in regards to fats, I had a little bit earlier on with the peanut butter, etc., and the protein bar, and I'm going to make sure that I have much more fat later on some way or another. Let's see. So it is 5 o'clock and it's time to repeat the last meal again, but I just gotta heat it up. Right, in the park now for training. Yesterday was a weight session, today is just a burpee session. For those of you who don't know, I am undergoing a journey for a 24-hour Guinness World Record attempt for burpees. So I've got lots of training to do. So today I'm just probably going to do a 1-hour burpee session. I've just got in my pocket, going to have these just almonds, 10, but I think there's about 10 almonds there, usually about 10 grams, and I've got a pre-workout shake in my bag, and then an intra BCAAs shake for whilst I'm training as well, and then I'll have some more food later on. Thank you. That wasn't so bad actually. That was 440 burpees in 1 hour, and to be honest, a great definition of fitness is to repeat the same thing you've done before and realise how different it feels. I did like an hour about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I remember feeling exhausted, and I got a bit tired there, but my legs were already sore from training. So yeah, that felt pretty good. So obviously the calorie burn in a 1 hour burpee session is pretty huge, which means I'll end today in a calorie deficit, no problem. But now I've got to think about what to eat for the evening. And of course, I'm showing you. So post-workout, the way I do a post-workout is the same as if it was post-weights workout, even though it's post-burpees. Same thing, 3 scoops of whey protein. And like I said, I'm gonna go into much more depth about this in another vlog about supplements, but I need 25 to 30 grams of protein, and then I'm going to do 1 scoop, which is 5 grams of creatine, and 5 grams of L-glutamine, which is amino acid as well. So, and then because of that huge calorie burn, I'm probably just going to have a little snack of rice cakes and peanut butter as well, because I haven't had many fats at all today, and then I'll have another meal a bit later on. I'm just finishing my protein shake and then having another couple of rice cakes and peanut butter. It's now 20 past 9. Just been checking out how this video is getting on. Don't know if you saw that one. It's doing quite well so far. And I'm just finishing off the sweet potato that I cooked earlier on. Forgot to finish it. That's probably the 3rd sweet potato. And then I'm gonna go have a shower and then have my last meal after that. Okay, final meal of the day, just before bed, and Greek yogurt, dark chocolate, and a sprinkling of cinnamon on top. And I like to have this last meal kind of like an hour or 2 hours after dinner, but completely depends on the day that I've had. To be honest, today's been a bit of a weird day, and it's not always this meal. I usually have Greek yogurt or like a casein protein shake before bed. I love having dark chocolate because that's just 1 cube, like 10 grams, And to be honest, I love doing it because it doesn't make me feel like I'm being restrictive. It's got that bit of sweetness. I love chocolate. It's, I think, 85% cocoa. It's something I can look forward to all day, so I stay strong all day knowing that I've got it coming. And it's also actually got great benefits as well in regards to anti-inflammatories and flavonoids, and in regards to releasing stress hormone cortisol, and cortisol is a killer for fat loss. So make sure you're sleeping lots and having a bit of chocolate, and you'll get great results, I'm sure. It depends how much chocolate. And when it comes to cinnamon, the same thing as well, great for anti-inflammatory. And you got the protein in the Greek yogurt as well. So just to wrap up this video, I thought I'd just quickly touch back on what I said earlier about counting and tracking calories and macros. And I'll do another video about that in much more detail. However, for the sake of this video, I did put all of today's food into MyFitnessPal, and I was right. It was about 2,200 calories, and that is the kind of food I would eat every single day, and I did that without counting. So for you guys, if you do follow something like this or get any ideas, that was about 2,200 calories, which will leave me in a nice big deficit to lose fat, but there was enough protein content there. At least 40% of my calories were from protein, and probably 40% from carbohydrates as well, and 20% from fats. And I find that that 40-40-20 ratio really works well for me to keep lean muscle, reduce body fat, and feel energetic, feel good. So now I'm going to get really good sleep and enjoy the chocolate, and yeah, continue the great results. And lastly, you could see that today's diet was not anything special. It was really basic. In fact, there wasn't much structure to it. There was kind of structure in the middle, but generally every day is quite different for me. That's why I've kind of put off doing this video, because I don't have a real set structure. I go through kind of bits of routine, and the best way to do your diet is to be that flexible and to take each day as it comes and adapt depending on the training you're doing, depending on where you're going, depending on where you're traveling, whether you're at home. You've got to adapt as you go and make the best choices. Prepare when you can and make the best choices out. I should do a very similar video of me not preparing food and making choices in supermarkets and restaurants. But anyway, that's for another time. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then please give it a like. If you didn't like it, give it a downward thumb. Otherwise, please leave a comment and let me know what you think. And until next time, guys, there's lots more coming. See you later. Good morning. It's the morning after. I feel quite well recovered, had a good sleep. And I always know when I've done well in my diet and training because I feel great the next day. I feel sore still from the burpees and the training session before that, but I'm getting leaner. Getting leaner. And still maintaining muscle mass. Okay, see you later.